And welcome back to News Now from Fox. A nice, beautiful look at the Capitol building right there. We're going to get to politics a little later tonight, but for now, I want to bring us back to a story that we've been following all day today. A shooting at a home in eastern Oklahoma has now left 5 children and a man dead, and a woman hospitalized with serious injuries. That was according to police this morning. And apparently a suspect is now in custody. I'm going to bring in Fox 23's Sarah Whaley. Sarah, what do you have for us tonight?
It's definitely been a heavy day here in the small town of Muskogee, Oklahoma. I'm actually outside of the house where it happened right now. I'm going to step out so my photographer can give you a look. It's that brown house right there with the lights on, the van outside. It's really just kind of unimaginable to think about what took place in this house around 1:30 this morning. You mentioned the suspect in this case, Jaron Pridgen, is who police have identified him as. They say when they got here after the call, he was still actually at the house. He ran from them, but they were able to get him into custody pretty quickly. You mentioned those 5 kids. This is just the unthinkable part of this. The 5 kids he's accused of killing, they're all under the age of 10. And we did learn today 3 of those kids are his very own. He fathered those kids. He killed allegedly 3 of his own kids. That is really hard to imagine in this case. He's also accused of killing his brother, his own brother, in the shooting rampage. He also allegedly shot his girlfriend. That's the one survivor in the case. His girlfriend, that's the mother of all 5 of those children. So she's in the hospital tonight recovering. Meantime, 5 of her kids are dead. So it's just unthinkable what we have going on out there. I talked with police earlier today, talked with the police chief. He did confirm with me that this suspect and all the victims, all of them, all of those victims lived under that same roof where the shooting happened earlier this morning. Police say that he's not cooperating with them, so they aren't really able to understand what prompted this entire rampage. The only good news in all of this, there are actually 3 other children who were inside the home at the time of the shooting. For whatever the reason, they were not shot. Thank goodness. Their lives were spared, so they were not hurt physically, but of course, emotionally, they have a long recovery ahead. Real quick, I want to give you a little bit perspective of Muskogee, Oklahoma. Muskogee, you said, is in the eastern part of the state. Yes, it is about an hour, about 55 miles southeast of Tulsa, Oklahoma. The population here in Muskogee is about 36,000. That's in comparison to Tulsa, which is just more than 750,000. So that lets you know kind of just how, I mean, it's not a tiny town, but it's a small town. You wouldn't expect this in a big city, let alone a town like this. So this has really shaken this community tonight.
Did you have an opportunity to speak with any neighbors in the area? What is the community saying at this point in time? Did they know the family?
That's a great question. We have talked to multiple neighbors out here today. I spoke with some just down the street. They didn't know this family, but they had seen these children playing outside. And when I spoke with her, she started crying. She didn't know them personally, but I think it's just thinking about those children in the last moments of their life. She said she had grandchildren of her own. It's just all of us, when you let this sink in, when you really think about it, 5 children under the age of 10, innocent children. They did not deserve this at all. Earlier today, I've also been in touch with the family. Brittany Anderson is the mom of these children. She was the one shot who's in the hospital recovering in Tulsa. I spoke with her sisters. As you can imagine, they just continued saying, this is so hard. This is so hard. Their sister was shot. They've lost 4 of their nieces and 1 of their nephews. I've been trying to imagine the pain they are in right now, and it's just unthinkable.
And I'm pulling up the picture right now, the mug shot in this shooting today. Do we know anything about him, about the suspect?
it was one of the big questions I talked with police about. They said he does have a past criminal record, but it's not one of those people who is a common offender that they said. They said they knew of him. I went and looked in the Oklahoma State Court Network records, so that's public records in the past. He, here in Muskogee County, did plead guilty to misdemeanor assault and battery back in 2019. He had also been charged with larceny of an auto, so auto theft in 2017, but there was nothing that was, happening over and over and over again. But he did have a couple of violent accusations, charges, and convictions in the past.
All right, Fox 23's Sarah Whaley out there. Any last thoughts tonight?
It's just one of those things that is again hard to think about. It's been a really heavy couple of days here in the state of Oklahoma. Just yesterday I was in Sand Springs, Oklahoma, which is just about 15 miles outside. It's west of the city of Tulsa, and in that case a father killed his two young children, stabbed them to death, and their mother. So it's just been a really heavy day. People are here trying to understand why. Here in Oklahoma, a lot of people, we have these close-knit communities, and in those communities everybody seems to know everybody. So it's just hard for people to understand and handle right now. We're all just sticking together out here.
Well, we appreciate your reporting out there, out on the grounds, in the field. It's not always easy, and this is a developing story, obviously, investigation ongoing, so we'll continue to reach out to you and see what's latest in this case. Sarah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Great information from these reporters out in the field today. Some tough stories. If you joined us a little bit earlier, we showed you that press conference of the FBI in Florida as